On this episode of China Uncensored, Hong Kong just elected a new leader. And the winner is Beijing! Hi, welcome to China Uncensored. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. Things have been a little on edge in Hong Kong lately. And I'm not talking about David Beckham posting a video of his trip in Hong Kong. I guess you can see what they say. No one can offend it like Beckham. Anyway, even more controversial than David Beckham is the election of Hong Kong's chief executive, which is basically like their governor slash mayor slash leader of the undead. That's current chief executive CY Leung, clearly a man beloved by the people. But moving on to the question of who the next chief executive will be. Polls were saying that John Tsang, Hong Kong's former financial secretary, was backed by almost half of adults, while his rival Carrie Lam had the support of only just over a quarter. But the Chinese people wanted Carrie Lam, so they decided to give her a helping hand. The top Chinese officials in charge of telling the future chief executive exactly what to do made it clear that Lam was their choice for the person to tell what to do to. Fortunately, the most popular candidate won anyway. Crazy alternate reality Hong Kong that has universal suffrage, that is. But in the real Hong Kong, the people don't actually get to directly vote for their chief executive. It's done through an electoral college type system. And if you think America's electoral college has a few holes, well, Hong Kong's is one giant crater. In Hong Kong, a city of more than 7 million people, only 1,200 representatives get to vote for chief executive. And get this, the vast majority of those representatives are not even elected by the people. They're special interest groups, or the transportation industry, plus a healthy dose of representatives from the mainland Chinese government. There are historical reasons for it. Great Britain. But it was supposed to be reformed. Back in 2007, so long ago that the first generation the Hong Kong government was like, hey, we want to have direct elections for our chief executive in 2012. One person, one vote. And in December that year, the National People's Congress, aka the Chinese government, tentatively agreed. But they wanted to push the goalposts back to 2017. Because, elections are really complicated and this sort of thing takes 10 years of careful planning. Whatever. But in 2014, the National People's Congress realized their distant goalposts were actually getting close. So they changed the rules and announced that the chief executive shall be a person who loves the country and loves Hong Kong. Which is party speak for, if you pick the candidates, then you can vote for one of them. Which is like your parents taking you to Baskin-Robbins and telling you you can have any flavor of ice cream you want, as long as it's pistachio, licorice, or rum raisin. Who puts raisins in ice cream? That announcement was followed by 79 days of mega protests. Shot on my iPhone 6. The Hong Kong legislature eventually rejected Beijing's Our Way or the Highway proposal, but that still left Hong Kong without universal suffrage. So by the time 2017 rolled around, it was still the old system. Basically, the Communist Party won by proposing an alternative so bad that no Hong Kongers wanted it, and in the meantime, they quietly moved the goalposts back as far as possible. So by the time I can pick peanut butter chocolate for chief executive, we'll probably have iPhone 13s. So it comes as no surprise that in this year's March 26th chief executive election, the candidate who won was the one Beijing wanted all along. Carrie Lam won with 777 votes. That's a 2/3 majority, despite her only getting around a quarter of popular support in pre-election polling. She was a gracious enough winner, though. She commended the other candidates, saying, "They ran good campaigns that taught me a lot." Namely, that you don't have to be popular to win a rigged election. A major student-led political party called it a nightmare to Hong Kongers, which is ridiculous. You wake up from nightmares. But the new chief executive has promised to heal Hong Kong.
My priority will be to heal the divide and to ease the frustrations and to unite our society to move forward.
And maybe she will. Who knows? It's just that the last candidate backed by Beijing was CY Leung. Last December, he announced he would step down and not run for re-election for, family reasons. Which is code for, he's so unpopular among Hong Kongers that he basically can't do his job anymore. Oh, and he very likely pissed someone off in the Communist Party leadership. You see, the battle over Hong Kong isn't just played out in the election for chief executive. Hong Kong has been a thorny problem for Chinese leader Xi Jinping. Within the party hierarchy, the guy in charge of Hong Kong affairs is the head of the National People's Congress, Zhang Dejiang. And the guy who controls Zhang Dejiang from behind the scenes is former party leader and Xi Jinping's amphibian archenemy, Jiang Zemin. For the last several years, Zhang Dejiang has seemingly made a pet project of destabilizing Hong Kong. After all, if Xi Jinping has to deal with Hong Kong, that takes his focus away from getting rid of his political enemies with his anti-corruption campaign. Like I said, Zhang Dejiang is in charge of the National People's Congress. The same Congress that issued the rules in 2014 about how Hong Kongers could only vote for pre-selected chief executive candidates, which sparked the Umbrella Movement. Zhang's National People's Congress also last year issued an interpretation of Hong Kong's constitution that let them throw out two recently elected pro-democracy legislators, a move guaranteed to put the city on edge. So since Zhang Dejiang wanted Carrie Lam, was her win a loss for Xi Jinping? Not necessarily. That's because Xi Jinping already won his battle over Hong Kong's chief executive. The one who's about to step down, CY Leung, the guy reviled throughout Hong Kong for ordering police to use tear gas against student protesters in the Umbrella Movement, was also in the Jiang Zemin camp. Everyone expected him to run for re-election. And let's face it, if he had, he'd have won. But according to what an inside source told the South China Morning Post, Zhang Dejiang had recommended to the Communist Party's Politburo Standing Committee that the central government should support Leung's re-election. But this was rejected by Xi. And then Leung shocked everyone by saying he wouldn't run for re-election. Interesting. As for the election, a source close to the Xi leadership told the Epoch Times that Xi had no preferred candidate, but was only concerned that Hong Kong must remain stable. Which seems to me to suggest Xi is choosing to pick his battles, and whoever is Hong Kong's chief executive isn't a big concern for him now that he's ousted CY Leung. So what will happen in Hong Kong under Carrie Lam? Well, it's pretty clear now that Hong Kong's chief executive doesn't have much real power. He'll probably just follow Beijing. And what Beijing orders will depend on whichever side wins the power struggle. So what do you think about Carrie Lam's victory in Hong Kong? Leave your comments below. And remember, we can keep making episodes of China Uncensored because of support from viewers like you on Patreon. If you can, contribute today. Once again, I'm your host, Chris Chappell. See you next time. On this episode of China Uncensored, building on the success of others. Hi, welcome to China Uncensored. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. China, the Middle Kingdom, home to many wonders. The Great Wall of China, the Terracotta Warriors, the classical gardens of Suzhou, the Sphinx? What's that doing there? Well, you see, modern China has a rich tradition of copying, from McDonald's to Polystation. And this modern culture of copying extends to a much grander scale than you may imagine. Chinese companies, and even the Chinese government, I kid you not, spent millions in creating knockoffs of some of the world's most famous monuments. As I always say, copyright infringement is the sincerest form of flattery. So here are just 10 of my personal favorites from China. Number 10, the Sphinx. I only bring it up again because there's not just one Sphinx. I found at least 2, 3, 4, 5, that one now also has an Iron Man for some reason, and 6. Though that last one was a little too good for the taste of the Egyptian government. They were concerned it would draw tourists away from the real Sphinx, so they complained to Chinese authorities. And amazingly, they actually did something about it. Number 9, the Colosseum. Keeping with the ancient world theme, the Chinese special region of Macau maintains its very own Colosseum.
And I very don't care. Wow. 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 I had to walk back there. Wow. Fucking trash. One hit. Oh, nay, nay. Yeah, okay.
見通しよ。安心してしろ。あんたにも残しといてあげるから。スターガーディアンやっててよかった。あまり自分を責めないで。
敵を倒しました。敵を倒しました。
それ開幕。許す？それともやっちゃ見えるわよ。よし、暴れたいのはどこ？ねえ。
敵を倒しました。敵のダブルキル。
あんまりひどいことはしたくないわけないじゃん。
Okay, I'm fucking dead. Thank you. Thank you, my savior.
しました。
なんだか悪いことして
敵を倒しました。味方がタワーを破壊しました。
るの。目指せファーストステージってなんか知らないけど。
味方がタワーを破壊しました。
スターガーディアンってやつはお行儀良くないとダメなわけ。いや、早く流れ星ってねえ、スターガーディアンなのに羽とかないわけ？なんだか悪いことしてるみたい。私はこんな衣装着せてなんて頼んでないかんね。
敵を倒しました。
あんまりひどいことはしたくないわけないじゃん。
あなたのチャンピオンが倒されました。
Why are there so many always after me? You don't wanna hit the tower? No? Oh, you're at room. Gold. It's not that far away.
私まだやれる。もうスターガーディアンってやつはお行儀良くないとダメなわけ。
Careful. Yeah, that's what I wanted.
私の友達
We're not in the call. I'm not in any call. They just hurt me.
よーし、あまり今はどっち？安心してしろ。あんたにも残しておいてあげるから。
10 out of 10! Abandonment!
倒されました。
On one hand, Malphite doesn't have his ult anymore, and neither does
味
Yasuo.
方のタワー
On
が
the
破壊
other
されました。
hand, where's my team?
敵を倒しました。
あんまりひどいことはしたくないわけない
At
じ
least
ゃ
they
ん。
got that.
ごめんね、ファーストスターがやれって言うから。次は何？銃は撃てる？私撃つの大好き。
There's literally a Wukong not doing anything.
やめてガーディアンのルールをなんか悪いことしてるみたい。
敵を倒しました。あなたのチャンピオンが倒されました。味方が倒されました。敵のダブル
Oh
キル。
fuck, 3 of them are called cafe managers. We're fighting the cafe manager team here.
味方のタワーが破壊されました。ダブルキル。味方のタワーが破壊されました。
私はここよ。次は何？銃は撃てる。私撃つの大好き。
見て。
スターライトはすべてお見通しよ。やめてガーディアンのルールを破らせないで。どうする？許す？それともやっちゃう？ドラゴンを倒すなんて契約書になかったんですけど。
私に導き
こんな感じ？個人的には何もないんだけど、倒すのがゲーム。
味方が倒されました。敵を倒しました。
輝かしい戦果。わかる？スターだから輝く。ファーストスターになるにはこんなにキラキラをつけないとダメなの？あまり自分を責めない。
You're so greedy!
敵を倒しました。
まあこんなこともあるっしょ。私たちには使命があるの。何だったか忘れちゃったけど。私はここよ。あんたの銃をあの仕掛けてこないの？
味方が倒されました。敵を倒しました。敵を倒しました。
けど。
味方が倒されました。
スターガーディアンとやらのノリはつかんだわ。私の友達に挨拶して。
Come on, here we go.
準備はいい？
Yep, kid. Watch that. Look at that.
味方がタワーを破壊しました。
よし、暴れたいのはどっち？これで何でも見えるわよ。わかる。領収書の宛名はスターガーディアンで。ごめんね、ファーストスターがやれって言うから。どうする？許す？それともやっちゃう？
Come on. We're about to get fucking ulted. It's gonna happen. Couldn't get over the wall.
味方が倒されました。
Oriana's live. Oriana wasn't with us.
味方がタワーを破壊しました。
We had a really great team fight, but then she
破
wasn't
壊
there.
されました。
That's how it goes.
私に導いて。まだやれる。
That Gallia is getting a fucking thrown out.
正義の味方とかって全然楽しくないんだけど。
Oh fuck.
倒しました。
隠し事なんて無理ね。誰か一緒にかくれんぼしない？見つけたら言ってあげる。あまり自分を責めないで。私がやってあげるから。銃にキラキラ、意外と合うわね。いないいないばー。ごめんね、ファーストスターがやれずに。優しくするために残酷になんなきゃいけない時もあるの。あんまりひどいことはしたくないわけないじゃん。ファーストスターカードは限度額なしよ。優しくするために残酷になんなきゃいけない時もあるの。
Let's hope this is enough to deal with the Galio.
私の友達に挨拶して。焼きもち焼いてるのしろ。私はどっちの銃も大好きよ。
あなたのチャンピオンが倒されました。敵のダブルキル。味方が倒されました。味方のタワーが破壊されました。
あんまりひどい
味
こと
方のインヒビが破壊されました。味方のタワーが破壊されました。
って言うから。自慢の銃よ。これで何でも見えるわよ。私はきらめく流れ星。あんまりひどいことはしたくないわけないじゃん。なんだか悪いことしてるみたい。 スターガーディアンとか言われてもさ、まだよくわかんないんだよね。ごめんね、ファーストスターがやれって言うから。ごめんね、あんたを倒すのが私の使命なの。大丈夫よクロ、もうすぐあんたの出番
スクリーン。味方が倒されました。あなたのチャンピオンは倒されました。敵を倒しました。